Have this year's WWE Hall of Fame inductees just been leaked, and this current major champion reveals they are a free agent. But first, let's go to a quick update on the health of the daughters of Jay Briscoe, who were unfortunately involved in the car accident that saw their father pass away last month. Let's start with 12-year-old Gracie, who has been released from hospital, with Ashley Pugh, Jay's wife, posting a photo to social media with the caption, "Got all my babies back together." A family friend would then take to Facebook to reveal the progress made regarding movement in Gracie's legs and said, "Her muscles in her legs are really starting to fire up, so they want to keep it a very intense therapy. This girl has went from nothing to doing some assisted walking. We're still going to pray hard for movement below the knees because it's not where it needs to be. The doctors can feel her trying to move her ankles and toes and stuff, but we're just not getting that movement yet. But things are progressing, I would say, ahead of schedule." As for Jaylee, Jay's 9-year-old daughter, she was released from hospital earlier this month, no longer needing a neck brace. She does, however, still need to wear a back brace and an external fixator for 4 more weeks, and progress is being made in both cases. AEW President Tony Khan would speak on the In the Click podcast this week, where he would discuss the possibility of a second Forbidden Door event with New Japan Pro Wrestling, seemingly confirming that the show will happen again, perhaps with involvement from Ring of Honor, and Khan would say, "We always build up to this big event, AEW and NJPW coming together for Forbidden Door. I think Forbidden Door 1 was such a big success, we're looking forward to doing it together again. They send a lot of their top stars to AEW and to ROH, and I love working with them. It's been a great relationship, and there's a lot of trust between the parties." Kevin Von Erich, a member of the historic Von Erich wrestling family, would talk to John Arezzi this week in relation to the 30th anniversary of the death of his brother Kerry. During the chat, he would discuss the future of his sons Marshall and Ross, who currently ply their trade in Major League Wrestling, with him hinting at a big move for the brothers in the future. When discussing potential options between AEW and WWE, Kevin would say, "They've signed their contracts with MLW and they're stuck, but their contracts are almost over. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next chapter is going to be like. I love the WWE, but also AEW. I watch AEW and I love the direction they're going in. I believe Tony Khan is on the right track. I really have a good feeling about that. I'd like to see my sons there." And before we get to the rest of today's stories, be sure to subscribe to Wrestle Planet if you haven't done so already, as we aim to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And also head over to Wrestle Planet Gaming if you're into wrestling video games, ahead of the launch of both AEW Fight Forever and WWE 2K23. But with that said, let's get to the rest of the video. Earlier today, the legendary Keiji Muto would bring an end to his 38-year-long career at the Pro Wrestling Noah Last Love event inside the Tokyo Dome. The show would see Muto fall short in his matchup with former IWGP Heavyweight Champion Tetsuya Naito, which was expected to be his last match, although one of his old rivals would accept a challenge from Keiji, that being Masahiro Chono. In what was Chono's first match since 2014, he would defeat his old rival to finish off both men's careers in Japan's most prestigious wrestling arena. The match brings an end to Keiji Muto, aka the Great Muto's retirement tour that has seen him step inside the ring with the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura, Sting, and Darby Allin, with him now officially hanging up his boots. Muto has won all there is to win in Japanese wrestling, being a former IWGP All Japan Triple Crown and GHC Heavyweight Champion, which are the 3 most coveted belts in the nation. His influence goes far beyond Japan, however, with his innovative moveset and presentation inspiring multiple generations of talent across the world. Last night, WWE would hold the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, where a match for WrestleMania 39 was seemingly revealed. The show would see 7'3" Omos issue a challenge to former WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, a match that would be a showcase of giants, to say the least. Whilst the match itself hasn't been confirmed, a graphic was posted to WWE's Twitter page, questioning if Lesnar would show up to accept the challenge next week. With that said, Bray Wyatt did recently reveal that he'd be chasing after whoever came out on top in the match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber, and given that there was no clean winner to the match after Brock was disqualified, the Omos angle could be a swerve, although Bray could of course just end up facing Lashley instead. Elsewhere on Raw, Bayley and the rest of Damage Control would host the latest Ding Dong Hello segment, which would be interrupted by rival Becky Lynch as well as Hall of Famer Lita in tow, who issued a challenge to Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. With that said, according to Fightful Select, former WWE Women's Champion Trish Stratus was backstage at the show and was even internally listed to appear in this segment. However, creative changes would be made with her later leaving the arena. It should be stressed that creative changes happened before her leaving and not as the result of. It appears to be a case of a change in plans, with Trish perhaps set to be involved in a feud later down the line to even the odds in the current 2-on-3 storyline. And speaking of scrapped returns, we have more from Fightful Select, who last night released a report concerning a potential return of Finn Balor's demon persona. The report confirmed a December story from WrestlingNews.co that Balor was originally in line to take on Edge in a Hell in a Cell match at the Royal Rumble event. However, Fightful would go on to reveal that the match would have seen the return of Demon Finn Balor, a version of him that we haven't seen since Extreme Rules 2021, where he would go on to unsuccessfully challenge for Roman Reigns' Universal title. The feeling in the WWE camp appears to be mixed on the original plans, with some feeling it doesn't fit the current Judgment Day faction presentation, whilst others felt the Demon would add some extra buzz to the occasion. Either way, an Edge vs Balor match was seemingly set up last night on Raw when the show closed, with Finn costing his rival the match for the US Championship against Austin Theory, dropping 3 coup de grace on the Rated R superstar. With the match now likely set for WrestleMania, it remains to be seen if the Demon will be there on the night. Now let's get on to some free agency news, as this week former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kota Ibushi would speak with Dark Puro on Twitter, where he revealed what it would take to bring him into All Elite Wrestling. If he were to sign for the promotion, it would need to be on a minimal schedule, at least for the time being, as he tries to build his pro wrestling dojo in Japan, with him noting, "In the case of a contract with AEW, I would like to sign a contract with AEW that I will participate in for about a week every month until the basic foundation of the dojo is solidified." Insider WrestleVotes would once again provide some scoops for Give Me Sport this week, where the names being considered for this year's WWE Hall of Fame class were revealed. First, let's start with who won't be added, as the report notes that Vince McMahon won't be inducted this time around, as has been speculated by fans. The report adds that Batista would be one of the names that would make sense given his cancelled appearance in the 2020 class due to the pandemic, although this wasn't direct confirmation that he'll be in this time. With that said, the Great Muta appears to be a name in line for a call, as it was noted that the Japanese legend, who is now officially retired, will be added to the Hall as a trade-off for WWE sending Shinsuke Nakamura across to Pro Wrestling Noah to face Muta earlier this year. Another name being discussed internally is former ring announcer Lillian Garcia, who was the voice of WWE entrances for some of the company's biggest matchups. This past weekend, Mercedes Moné would make her New Japan Pro Wrestling in-ring debut at the Battle in the Valley, where she dethroned Kairi to become the IWGP Women's Champion. Ahead of the match, the former Sasha Banks would speak with Alex McCarthy of Inside the Ropes, where she revealed her current contract situation, with her being asked if the door is open to a debut in All Elite Wrestling. Mercedes would state that Moné goes where the money is and said, "I'm as free as a bird. I've got the choice to decide anything that I want to do, especially tomorrow when I win the IWGP Women's Championship. I plan to take that title all over the world, not just New Japan. It's about to be a global championship. So wherever that championship ends up, whether it be on United States TV, Japan TV, Mexico TV, Germany TV, anywhere all over the world is wherever I choose to make it happen. So whoever has the best bag, whoever writes the best check for Mercedes Moné, that's where I might end up." In a separate interview with Scott Fishman of TV Insider, Moné would double down on her free agent status, name-dropping some interesting possible destinations, with her adding, "The thing is, I'm a free agent. It doesn't matter with New Japan. I can go anywhere. I can go to New Japan, Impact, Mexico, Germany, Europe. The potential matchups are endless. The same for New Japan. I know they have partnerships with CMLL, Impact, AEW. To be a fan and watch all these matchups from all parts of the world is amazing. I know there is a little woman in Impact I would love to face one day, Mickie James. We'll see what is in the stars." And before you go, make sure you check out the real reasons superstars are missing from WWE 2K23.